and scolded herself. What's done is done. You can't save Laura, but maybe you can save little Jackie. Henry slowed the car to a stop as they neared the turnabout. 2 muddy ruts cut through the narrow clearing in the woods before disappearing around a bend several yards back. There the gravel road was consumed by the overgrowth, turning back travelers for as long as any of them could remember. Those who belonged here, however, knew of another path. Imogene opened her eyes. The trailhead beckoned to them like a gaping mouth, waiting to swallow them all. Half a mile down, the trail dipped into a gully where the creek trickled its way toward the Cumberland River. A wooden footbridge they'd built years before would carry them to the other side. From there, any traveler would find a series of homes, nothing more than cardboard and sheet metal shacks. They'd all lived in those homes at one point or another, selling off their belongings for the sake of Jacob's vision, trading their lives of privilege and sin for those of piety and reverence. Beyond the village, the forest gave way to a clearing, and rising from its center was Calvary Hill. The heart of Jacob Masters' religious community sat atop Calvary, a one-room, whitewashed church with a black steeple. And down in the pit below, deep in the heart of that blighted land, they would find the bastard. Imogene's heart raced. She reached into her purse and pulled out her daddy's revolver, amazed at how such a small thing could bear such weight, hoping her daddy's lessons wouldn't fail her now. Henry parked the car and shut off the engine. He popped the trunk and turned to the men in the back seat. "I won't blame either of you boys if you want to back out now." Jerry and Gage remained silent, studying Henry's face. They nodded to one another, a tacit agreement between old friends that wasn't lost on Imogene. See it through. "Jeannie," Henry said, "what about you?" Imogene placed her daddy's revolver in her lap, absently tracing her finger along the loaded cylinders. "Jacob took my Laura from me, and I didn't do nothing because he told me it was God's will. I'm not going to make the same mistake with my grandson. He can't have 'em. He can't have any of those children. We're all they've got now. If I meet my Maker tonight, I'll do it knowing I did what I could to make things right." Her words clung to the air between them, resonating like church bells. They all knew Henry Pruitt's offer to turn back was an empty one. None of them could back out now, even if they wanted to. Not after all they'd let happen. Tonight they would atone for their sins, one way or another. Imogene opened the door and broke the silence. The sound of low guttural chants set her heart into her throat. Nestled between each lurching incantation were the shrill calls of children in song. "It's begun," she whispered. The men climbed out of the truck. Henry looked back at her, frowning. He understood this was their burden and theirs alone. Henry retrieved his shotgun and chambered around. "Then let's end it." Chapter 2 1. Jacob Masters stood at the threshold of his church and gazed down the hill at his self-made paradise. His people chanted, calling out the many names of their new Lord in preparation for their offering. Their children, his children, sang in harmony, speaking the forgotten words of God with their sweet cherubic voices. He leaned against the doorframe and closed his eyes, relishing the soft breeze rustling through the trees, whispering like the voice of a god in his ears. "Shh," that voice told him. "Breathe this in. Take it in. This is your will. Your will and the old ways are one." His will? Yes. Who else would have given everything to empower their flock? Not the false god of the heathens in Stafford. They had forgotten the old ways, turned away from their purified scripture by a deceiver and usurper. The heretics had traded the ways of blood and fire and tongues for a more hypocritical, self-righteous doctrine. Their sins were metaphorical, the devil a phantom of their own conjuring, nothing more than veiled attempts at filling the heads of their congregation with psychobabble and lies. The
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.